So we made our first short horror film, and here's what went right, what went wrong, and what we learned from that experience. What's up, everybody? Welcome to In Love with Horror. My name is AJ,
And I'm Christy.
and y'all, welcome to essentially like a lessons learned for our first short horror film, The Second Halloween, which is out now on our YouTube channel. You can check it out. Link in the description. But we wanted to take like some time just to talk about it, our process, kind of the behind the scenes, all that good stuff. Have a bit of fun just talking about what it was like filming our first like short film ever. So to top it off, the first topic that I wanted to go over was, why we made the film. So I'll pass over to you, Bay. Um, and as we were planning to do something like to do something like this, I feel like we always wanted to do something like this. What's your take on like why we chose to do it now and why we made this short horror film?
Well, I think, like you said, it's something we always wanted to do. It's always been a goal of ours to make our own film. Obviously, we want to make a feature length film, but that's definitely a daunting thing to do if you've never made a short. Also,
Yeah,
if you don't
you
have
gotta
no money.
start somewhere. You also gotta practice. You gotta start somewhere. It's like a short's a great way to do it too.
Yeah, for sure. So we said, okay, well, we'll start with a short. Because we have a script that we've written before. We've actually written a couple different things.
Hmm.
But we wanted to have something that, completely new, and the Halloween season's coming up. It was like, this is the perfect time to make something.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty much like why we made it. We always wanted to make something, and then we felt like the anything centered around Halloween could just lend itself to something very simple and easy to do in a short amount of time, and just allow you to get your feet wet, if you will, for a short horror film. And you kind of already mentioned a little bit as you were talking, but kind of why or how we came up with the idea. We started like we knew we wanted to do something around Halloween, and it's kind of like a last minute planning too. We didn't even start planning this until I would say like the beginning of October.
True.
But for the idea, it was like, okay, what could we do um, centered around Halloween, short horror film wise? We had some different ideas of things we wanted to do.
Yeah,
Uh,
we had some fun, not so fun, and
yeah,
different. Yeah, but we kind of went with something that was the simplest of the ideas that we had.
right. Yeah. Well, no, I don't think this was the simplest, but I feel like this was the most interesting. That was also simple.
Okay, yeah,
I feel like we had some other ideas that were way simpler than this.
possibly.
But oh yeah,
I
absolutely.
can't
But
remember.
the candy one, I think, would actually been way easier than this.
I thought that would have
Because
been harder because we would need like, effects for the candy, for
thanks for the
the
candy.
like the stuff that we were gonna do with around the candy, centered around the candy.
Oh
It doesn't
nah,
matter.
yeah, no. We would have been way simpler.
Okay.
Um, because we could have got away with it without doing any blood or anything. But I think this one gave us a good combination of everything.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so we just wanted to create something. Also, we kind of wanted something like a twist, so we thought it'd be kind of fun to have some sort of twist element. So our
Yeah.
short horror film does have that element too in there.
Um, yeah, I think that's just like me trying to, what do you call it? Tap into my inner, M. Night Shyamalan.
Hmm. He got the
Well, I
ultimate
think
twist.
also when you're trying to make something, right, like, you think about the films that you like, things that you enjoy watching, and obviously, I always like a movie that has a little twist in there.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think twists make it interesting or make it dynamic, make it
Mhm.
fun. You flip the movie on its head, and now the movie just feels like a whole new movie. I think that's always a good time. But going into the story, let's talk about the process. So, from writing the script to storyboarding everything out. What was our process like, babe, when we was starting the script?
Yeah, we both sat down, did some brainstorming ideas first to try to figure out what story to tell. Like you said, we had a bunch of different ideas. And then from there, I wrote like a preliminary script, um, with, dialogue, setting the scene type of thing. Yeah, I think that was ultimately like 5 pages. It was super short.
Yeah,
Uh,
mhm,
and
as it should be.
then yeah, and then you kinda, like, came behind me and spruced it up and figured out how you thought things would flow. Um, and then as far as storyboarding, that was all you, so I don't know what that process was like at all, so you have to speak on that.
Yeah, so for storyboarding, you know, that because we're new to all this, like, it's not like we got no formal training on this stuff, you know, so a lot of it is YouTube University, for us.
Yeah.
And,
Mhm.
there's a channel on YouTube that I really like that has taught us a lot of stuff, and it's, this channel called Studio Binder. Man, that channel is incredible for the wealth of knowledge you can learn for filmmaking, from talking about the types of cameras to the shots, the movements, the transition, editing, uh, screenplay writing. I mean, everything. But they also have a lot of tools on their website, a lot of resources, and one of the resources they have is like is like a storyboard sheet, and they have different versions of that sheet. So we downloaded one of the storyboard sheets from that website. So shout out to Studio Binder because you know, y'all, for us being brand new to filmmaking, y'all really helped us out with that.
Yeah.
And so I just use that sheet, and I'm not a super artist, and I didn't want to spend too much time on it anyway.
Yeah.
I
We
didn't
was
want to.
literally down to the, like we were storyboarding, like, the day before, y'all, so, like, this
Yeah.
was like AJ said earlier, like, this we came up with the idea earlier on, but we also had a lot of other things going on, like, we're parents, and
Hmm.
we had a short time frame before Halloween, and so, like, we were literally, like, days before we actually filmed anything where we were, like,
Yep.
getting the ideas for scenes and shots prepared.
Yeah, yeah. So we were on super time crunch. So I kept the storyboard super simple. I didn't even storyboard
Yeah,
the whole
stick
thing
figures.
because yeah, I kept it like dumb lines and stick figures. Like I kept it dumb, simple. And I didn't even storyboard the whole movie because we had just I printed off like a couple sheets and I filled them up and I was like, man, I'm not even gonna print no more. I kind of already have it in my head. We're just gonna roll with it because we just don't have a whole lot of time. But the storyboarding process was cool because that just allows you to start to think about like how you want to construct the shots. I already had it in my mind. You know, when you're reading your script, you kind of, I think, naturally start to think about um, certain parts where you're like, okay, I know I want to shoot this part like
Yeah,
this. But then there's other parts where you're just not really sure yet. So it's good. That storyboarding process is good to start mapping out in your head. Uh, you know, how the actual recording of the film will flow. And even before that, you know, we did some test shooting because we filmed this on
mhm,
our phone, by the way, on my phone.
yeah,
So it's filmed on my phone, and we did some like test shots to kind of get a feel for what it would look like and stuff like that. So you know that was all part of that initial, I'll say like storyboarding process as well to see like just what my phone was capable of. Because I did have like one lens attachment, but it was cheap and it's not good. So like there are certain shots that I wanted to do, and I'm like, okay, I don't even know if my phone is able to do this. You know, like super
yeah.
close ups with like nice bokeh in the background. I was like, I don't even know if the lens attachment I have for my phone is even able to pull that off. So you know, you just gotta work what you got, and that's what we did.
That's
You
what we
know,
did, for sure, and I
so
think that's also why we make a good team because, yeah, I wrote the script, but I definitely don't see like, a lot of my favorite shots that you have in here, I definitely wasn't thinking of any of that when I was writing it, right? Like, I'm just
yeah,
thinking, "Oh,
hmm
you're just holding the camera up and you're acting this out," but, AJ has a different way that he looks at stuff. I'm like, "Well, I'm this is all good because all I had to do was write the story, and he's the one
yeah.
that made it look like it looked," you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, and that's why I love our dynamic. You know, that's even outside of filmmaking, that's always been the dynamic of our relationship. Like we are the ultimate team. You
Yeah,
know, when it comes to anything creative, we always work super well together because uh, we complement each other's strength and weaknesses so well. that it's just the perfect combination. So,
Agreed.
I couldn't ask for a better partner than you, baby.
Oh, man, you making me cry. Same.
uh, uh, Now, I briefly mentioned, the challenge that we have uh, w- with the equipment that we had, right? So, like I said, we filmed this on my cell phone. So, I wanted to kind of talk more in depth about the challenges and how we overcame different things. Because the first thing was the cell phone, right? So, um, like this is getting to, I guess, the more like technical aspects of things, but like
Yeah.
I did have to download like a specific app for my phone. I used Motion Cam Pro to film this because you can shoot in like full direct log with your phone, so it can use a full sensor and just try its best to capture good quality images. And I feel like it did. I feel like it did capture good quality images. Now, years ago, I used to be into photography and videography, so I did have like a really old gimbal that I had. That was actually for one
Mhm.
of my old mirrorless Sony cameras. I don't have that camera anymore. We don't even own any like nice mirrorless or DSLRs right now because we sold all those things a long time ago. But I still had that gimbal as a remnant, not meant for the phone at all. So like, uh, I
Okay,
got this
rig it up.
gimbal. It was rigged. It had the gimbal and had the phone, mounted on this gimbal. But for audio, uh, we discovered that um, like with this particular app that I was using, you can't use any Bluetooth microphones or anything. So we had to plug in a microphone into the phone, into the USB port. Naturally, that made mounting it on the gimbal even more awkward. So like it was super janky setup. Had to attach. We took a old podcasting mic that we had and then plugged it up to the phone, and then I connected that to one of the light desk mounts that I had, and I just attached it to that,
We
and
was
we
putting
and
shit all together like
yeah, that became like a super ghetto boom mic situation.
yeah.
Audio obviously sucked, but we made it work the best that we could. And
I
that's
thought it was better than it could have been,
I
So
mean, yeah, it won't. If I'm being super real with myself, it wasn't great. It wasn't what I would want audio to sound like, but
I know, right?
you could hear everything that was being said at
You
least.
can hear us. You can hear us.
Yeah. So at least in that capacity, it did what it's supposed to do. But
Yeah.
uh, from like the video aspect and the audio aspect, there's some challenges that we overcame. We also what are the challenges we have from like a technical
Well,
standpoint?
first of all, we was trying to make our night a foggy night.
Oh, there was that too. Yeah, because there's a particular scene in
Yeah.
the film where Christy opens the door and it's like, oh man, it's really foggy out because it plays into the story of the scene.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'm not gonna have time to try to figure out,
I
I'm
had
not gonna have
a
time to YouTube University some
yeah.
fog effects. So we were like, well, let's try to
We can
do,
make some real fog.
yeah, make our own fog using a Spirit Halloween fog machine. They
And
only had
that
the
junk was
400-watt
janky.
one. Yeah, they only had the 400-watt one when we went, so it did not produce very
It
much
didn't
fog.
do very well at
It
all, but we made it work. We
We
made it
did.
work.
So there's a little bit of like foggy-ishness in the
Yeah.
scene, enough to like get the point across of like there's some mist out there.
Yeah, like you were saying, I went on YouTube to try to figure out how we can make it look more foggier.
Yeah.
And so we went to it was a Home Lowe's,
Yep. Went to
according
Lowe's.
to the video, and got one of those long, like, what are those things called? Like the rain
It was the gutter
thing?
extensions.
Yeah, gutter
Yeah.
extension things,
Hmm.
right, exactly, and connected it to the end of the fogger. And we put frozen water bottles in there
Yep.
so to get some more mist. But I was like, oh, it's not gonna be enough, but it was enough. I think it was enough.
Yeah, I think it was enough to. I even told you that when I was editing it. I was like, what, I think this is good enough. Like, I don't think I need to
Yeah,
try to figure out anything else. It's
and it
enough
was so funny.
mistiness to get the point across.
The next day, it was super foggy. I was like,
Yep, it
why
was.
we couldn't have this foggy last night when we recorded this video?
Yep, it was foggy. It wasn't foggy enough though to like It
No,
was
it
foggy during
wasn't.
the like, I
Yeah.
think, like, the morning
Yeah.
in the late evening, but not that nighttime, that we
Yeah.
would've needed,
True. But we coulda mixed
unfortunately.
it together, you know?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But, we made that work, and I think that was, like, all the main
The main ones, yeah.
yeah, the main challenges that we had, obviously the technical challenges,
Well, I do wanna
with
speak to, like, us being filming this in our house with our kids because that to me was a challenge, like,
True, yeah,
um
absolutely.
and, one of the reasons why we I guess you could say made an excuse for having not having done it up until now, kinda like, "Oh, well, we got all this other stuff going on." Well, obviously, we had to do what we had to do, so we kinda, like, got our kids involved a little
Mhm,
bit to make it less of a challenge, but it was still a challenge, filming a scene and then having your tell your kid, like, "You can't talk right now," you gotta be quiet, stuff
gotta be
like that.
quiet. Yep, you got a
So
dog
I
in the
feel like
background crying
we had the
sometimes.
dog,
Yep,
like, this is the ultimate, like, struggle experience, but
yeah,
we worked around it the best we could. But I do think that it's a challenge, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, everyone isn't like a 20-something-year-old college student trying to make a film. Like, some of us have jobs, kids, other responsibilities, and we're just trying
mhm.
to become filmmakers. So, like, that to me was very challenging. I feel like if we can make a movie with our kids involved around the space and stuff, I feel like we could do it any other situation.
Oh, definitely, yeah, absolutely, I agree
Yeah.
with that 100%. Um, but yeah, that definitely was a challenge, I think, trying to just film around those different elements.
Mhm.
Lighting, I think, was a challenge too,
Yeah.
because we don't have nice lighting equipment. I've got some remnants of some past stuff that I still had, but this still sucked. But we made it work the best that we could. At least you could see. But obviously it wasn't the dynamics that we wanted. But I think it came out good. I used some gels to add some colors, from because I had some gels from a video light that I bought long time ago.
Mhm.
Um, and so we were able to use equipment that we had on hand, to try to save money because
Mhm.
we did want to rent some stuff. Like I wanted to rent a Sony
Yeah.
camera and rent some lights and stuff, but ultimately it was just like, nah, we got to save money. So just use what we got.
Yeah.
I had like I think it's an ML60 Godox light, little baby light. And then we had one of those like newer lights that I mounted to like the counter in random places. Even I mounted it once to a dinner tray one time,
Yeah.
to try to get at least the best lighting that we could. And I think it came out good for what we had. So I was happy with that. Now getting into the effects, we do have, uh, essentially like, uh, I want to say like a kill scene, but like definitely got death, in the film. So we did have to have, makeup and blood. So you kind of took the charge on that, Bay, having makeup experience personally. You want to talk a little bit about the makeup and blood process?
Well, my makeup experience is not like this makeup
Well, I'm talking,
experience.
well, I'm trying to say you understand how to brush
Yeah.
stuff on and do stuff like that. I don't know nothing about that.
Well, again, YouTube University, I knew that I wanted us to have some scenes with, like scarring or like wounds, open wounds, bloody wounds. And so I was like, okay, there's got to be a way to do this that's not really expensive. We went to an event, like a con a couple years ago, and I had the notes from that, but all the stuff on there, I would had to have ordered it from somewhere special. So I was like, okay, well, obviously we can't do that. So yeah, I went to YouTube to see if there was a way to come up with some wounds. Now they have this stuff called scar wax that you can buy, but obviously we had no money for that. So I
Yes.
was like, okay, it's gotta be a
Zero
way to
budget film, almost.
make this at home. And so yes, there is a way you can make it at home. It is not the best. We did have some pictures on there, so it looks a little janky, but I feel like it got the job done. Um, we kind of mixed together like flour, uh, Vaseline, and then I put in like a little makeup to kind of like match, AJ's skin tone and stuff like that. Because his, to me, his looks better than the one I did. I put it on my own face. I feel like that made a difference. Like me putting it on him, it came out a little
Yeah,
bit
it's
better.
easier to just put stuff on somebody else. Yeah.
Yeah. And then with my kids' help too, we just mixed it all together and made our own scar wax, and then mixed a bunch of stuff together with some paint to try to make blood. Obviously, it doesn't look perfect, but again, it got the job done. That's basically all the I guess the saying for most of the stuff that we did. Right, we got the job done. Um, but yeah, that's basically what I did. I looked on YouTube, found some different recipes, played around with some different stuff of which one would come out better. For certain things, we kind of wanted blood to be a little bit more runny or a little bit thicker, stuff like that. So we had to play around with a couple different recipes to get it right enough. But I think it came together pretty good. I don't know.
Yeah.
What you think, babe?
Yeah, I agree. I think it looks really good. Like you said, it's always gonna be easier when you're like doing stuff to somebody else, putting effects on or, whatever. It's always gonna be easier. So yeah, I think mine did look really good. You killed that. It looked great.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think it came out. I think for the tiny budget that we had and the little things that we bought to make that work, I think it came out better than we could have ever expected. So
Yeah.
and that's what it's all about. It was just fun to do,
Yeah, it
and it
was.
just worked for the purposes of the film. So I think it came out. I think it came out great, and because it looked nasty. Yeah, you know what I'm
It did
saying.
look nasty.
We put the pictures on the screen, I'm sure. So it definitely looked nasty. Now going into like the shots and the scenes and stuff like that, I figured we talk about any of our favorite shots or scenes. I'll let you go first, babe. Like, do you have a particular shot or scene that's like your favorite for the short film?
I think my 2 favorite scenes are the walking, tracking shot you did when walking to the door, and then you being dead on the floor.
Yeah, that's a great scene right there.
Those are 2 of my favorites. I think you did a great job on, like I said earlier, right? Your vision for certain things, how you wanted them to play out. I would have never said, "Hey, let's film this particular shot with me walking, but you on the other side of the wall." Like, I wouldn't have came up with that. So it's
Yeah,
really cool that you did, and it looks really cool too. Did you add footstep effects on that?
yeah, I did because
Yeah,
you couldn't really hear super good, so I just
that's good.
added them in. Yeah,
It was really
um,
good. And then
yeah, that
obviously I really like the murder scene too. That was because you're just like laying there.
yeah. I
It
mean,
just looks
sometimes
really good.
yeah, sometimes the simple static shots look really good. I can think
Yeah.
there's a few movies I'm sure I could think of that have just static shots I think look really good. I
Yep.
even I just recently watched Begonia and there was a couple in there where it's just this holding on a frame and it just looks really good. Um, but yeah, I think my favorite was the tracking shot from the kitchen to the front door. I actually wanted to do a little bit more with that because I just love tracking shots, like movies that just got tracking shot. I don't know why this looks really cool to me, and I think it's just a cool way to transition and move between scenes that just adds this really dynamic connective tissue that I really like. So yeah, I did really like that scene a lot. It came together almost exactly how I wanted to. There's some additional things I wanted to do with it, but it just would have took too much time, and we just didn't have a lot of time. So I was really happy with that scene. Also, our opening tracking shot as well, where you go from the stairs to the kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
Um, yeah, that was a
Fun fact, uh, our 16-year-old filmed that part. She held the gimbal
yeah,
for it because,
yeah,
AJ had to be in the kitchen. So, shout out to our teen. She did a good
yeah.
job with that.
It did. So, before we did it, like I walked her through, like, look, that's how you use the gimbal. Like, you're gonna hold it like this, and here's how the shot's gonna look. We're gonna be standing here. I
Yeah.
walked her through, and then she was able to repeat it and killed it. Like I think the scene came together really good. It came together exactly how I envisioned it. I just like dynamic camera movement,
Mhm.
and I would have loved to have done more. But yeah, but any of those tracking shots, I definitely liked a whole lot. I even like the shot on the porch when you walk out and put the candy down. There's other things I want to do with that too,
Yeah.
to make that shot more dynamic. And that goes back to, you can have limitations, right? Like when you're making
Mhm.
short films, all I got is my phone. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like, would I have loved do to have the like tighter close-ups or better depth of field with some of these shots to really like get the real vibe and feeling that I wanted. Of course, I would have wanted that, but um, the point still got across, and I think that's something that, and we'll get to like you know what we learned later in detail, but that's definitely one of the things that I had to learn and work with um, uh, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for the favorite like shots and scenes. The next thing is the editing process. I guess I'll speak to that because I was doing the editing mostly, but I would have Christy come and kind of review what I had in different stages. I'm like, okay, here's the structure. I don't got
Yeah.
no color grading or nothing like that. Here's the structure though. The editing process. Uh, there's a couple of different things with that. One, you got to work with what you got. You know what I'm saying? So like now I got a MacBook that I do like a lot of our stuff on, and it's a decent one. But even it struggled with the like full direct log, full raw videos from my phone. I guess the
Yeah.
bit rate on those was really high. And so even pulling it in because I did this in Premiere Pro, pulling into Premiere Pro, the playback on it was struggling. So I was getting super frustrated because I can't edit if it keeps skipping and stuff like that. So I had never worked with proxy files before, so I had to YouTube University that utilizing proxy files to be able to edit this without it lagging and having issues, and that worked pretty good. I still had a couple issues, but for the most part, the proxy files were good. So, it was just pulling in the footage and then organizing it because you don't always shoot shit in chronological order. So we got shot stuff in different orders. So it was just, getting it organized and then laying out the structure onto the timeline. And I wasn't worried about effects, color grading. I was just getting the pure structure into the timeline and I started to like edit it down from there.
Mhm.
And then, from there you just I just built off of that. So okay, I was like, hey, I can trim this part here. This doesn't work here. And then I went in and put in like sound effects and effects. And then I went in and did like the color grading and stuff. I would have loved to have done more to the color grade, but just in
Mhm.
the interest of time, I was like, hey, like I'm keeping it
Yeah.
simple. I think I did on my phone the Sony S-Log 3 with I think the Sony Cinema color gaming, Cinema 3, I think. And then I think I just added their the Sony uh S-Log 3 LUT profile from the Sony website to Premiere Pro for the color grading. I think it came out all right. I had to, you know, getting into the technicals like filming, like a lot of elements to learn, like with comes to color temperature and things like that. So um I had to do some adjustments when I was color grading it, but other than that, like that editing process was cool. Like it was, I felt like I learned a lot of different things, even in the short amount of time that I had. I think on the next one that we do, I would like to give myself more time to really like dive in and dial things in and learn more when it comes to editing and the color grading and stuff like that. But overall, like I think it was a pretty smooth process given the time that we had. And yeah, like Christy mentioned, I did add in some sound effects like footsteps and stuff like that. And then I had to do a lot of audio adjustments because, like I told you, it was using like a podcast Audio Technica mic, and like that's some of that sound you couldn't hear us good, or it was just sounding janky. So I had to go in there and like really mess with the filters on the audio and put in different filters and settings and stuff to try my best to pull the voices out. There's a scene in there where she's crumpling a candy bag and pouring it into the bowl, and
Oh,
like
yeah.
the candy bag was like stupid loud on the video. I was like trying to figure out, man, how the hell am I going to diminish that sound
Yeah.
and keep the voices up? So I had to figure out a lot of different things with a lot of different things. But I was happy with how it came out. And I think it came out pretty good. Um, is there anything that you want to speak to? I know you didn't really Uh,
Hey, that's not my ministry. Like
right,
you
yeah. So
said,
I
I
didn't know
was
if there's
just
something you wanted to speak
I was
to.
looking over your shoulder, like you
Yeah.
said, and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that works, that looks good,
Yeah, so I
you
feel like,
know."
yeah, you're looking at the proofs essentially, like, "Hey, you like how this is set up?
Yeah,
Do I need to do anything or change the structure? Nope, it's good.
yep,
Alright, I'm going to the next one, going to the next phase."
that's all I
Uh,
did.
yeah, and I feel like that dynamic worked, perfectly.
Mhm.
Now let's get into the last, little couple things here. So, um, let's talk about what we learned or, and kinda what would we do differently next time? I give it to you, babe. Kinda, what do you think that we learned, and what do you think that we'll do differently next time?
Well, obviously, I think what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, just the what we were working with kind of wasn't in our favor. Obviously, next time we will plan a little bit longer, maybe, and a lot more time for the actual filming process. And then also like maybe planning ahead for what things we're gonna need. Cause like we could have been had got that fogging machine, and then we could have got
Mhm.
the good one instead of getting what was left because it was the last minute before Halloween, and then
Yep.
all the other ones were bought up. You know what I'm saying? Like just maybe like having like a supply list or knowing what things we're gonna need ahead of time. Obviously, it would be great if we had money to do
Yep.
stuff with. We had no budget for this. Oh, we literally bought candy. This what else did we buy? The fogging machine.
Mhm.
Is that all we bought? Actually, I think that's really all we bought, and the
Yeah,
stuff to
and I
make
think
the
the
mix
the
together for
the
the blood and stuff.
grocery items to make the blood,
Yeah,
yeah, that was it, though.
but
I'm
that
sure
would
it
be
was less
great.
than,
It was
you
way
know
less than $100
yeah,
because I
less than
think
$100.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Um, and you know, I I would like to have a babysitter. All
yeah,
these are all things that make the conditions a little bit better. But as far as like the film itself, like I personally think this was great. I am very proud of what we did. Like,
yeah,
um, we wrote this and then we brought it to life in literally like what 4 hours. I think you know what I'm saying.
yep,
Like, I just think we did a really good job as far as like bring coming up with this idea and then actually filming it. Um, Everything else I feel is all just small learning, like, learning through the process type thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, making a better plan for certain things or giving yourself more time to do
yeah,
stuff. But obviously in this particular case, I feel like this situation is a little bit different because we were trying to finish by Halloween. And then also we
right,
have other things, because we were working on a tight timeline because of us needing to be, you know why. So like
yeah,
I don't think those things would be a factor the next time. You know what I'm saying?
right,
I guess
yeah,
that's
yeah.
basically what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think definitely allowing ourselves to have more time the next time. Obviously
Mhm.
trying to release on Halloween creates a time crunch naturally, especially when we kinda decide to do it at the last minute.
Mhm.
So yeah, obviously with the next one, it'll just be kinda like, "Hey, we're gonna work this in a way where it'll just be done when it's done." You know what I'm saying? So then we could really
Right, yeah, so
work
that's a
towards
little bit
achieving what we
different.
want. Yeah.
Mhm. Right.
But I agree
What
with
about
everything you
you?
said. Yeah, but the big thing would be like supply lists, like going into like breaking down, obviously, if we were to do this legit, being able to break down the script, being like, hey, like these are the elements that we need, the things that we need, building a supply list in advance. Same thing with like the equipment, breaking it down. Hey, this equipment that we would need from the different lights and other uh, equipment related supplies. And then I think also like I don't know exactly what to call it. Like I guess call it like rehearsals almost, like being able
Oh,
to
yeah.
walk through like exactly the different sequences a few times. Again, we had time crunch, so we didn't really get to
Yeah,
do
we
that.
only did it once, yeah.
But definitely taking that time to do like little run throughs, little rehearsals, even if you're not on location, but just doing like little rehearsals and practice of like what you're wanting to do with the camera, and doing like maybe some test shoots as well, like going out, um, if you can, either if you're at home or you got a location, go into that location and is doing like some test footage, so you can see like what the lighting is like, what the colors is like, and kind of get an idea of how you're going to shoot stuff. Like anything that has to do with drafting and rehearsals, I think doing all those things to a high level will help make the filming process easier. We'll definitely do that for our next one.
Yeah.
But I think that's really it though,
Yeah.
for like what we learn. Now I do think that that leads into advice for others wanting to do a short. So, um, you know, I can tell you right now, like one of the first ones that I have, because this is a problem that I've had my entire life really, is I'm one of those people where like I like to have, you know,
Mhm.
like good stuff to be able to make stuff look how I want, you know, because like you watch a movie or even if you watch other people's short films, you're like, oh man, like that looks really good. Like I want to be able to pull shots off like that. I don't have the equipment to do that. Um, like I'm gonna give you an example. Uh, I wanted to do like a dolly zoom in our short film. Uh, when Christy has like a realization of what's happening, I just thought that shit would be fucking dope and it would fit the tone and story perfectly for this film. But um, I didn't have the time, I didn't have the equipment, and I won't about to like try to like I don't have time to even try to like build some makeshift stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I just had to accept the fact that for this particular film, I'm not going to be able to achieve that. I could still, get the point across the story for the story, but I just have to accept that for this film, I'm not gonna be able to achieve that. I just have to do it differently. But for the next film, that's something I can work towards. Same thing with equipment. I hated that we had to shoot on my phone. You know what I'm saying? Like I was
Mhm.
like, man, I really want to have like different lenses. Like, so I only had one lens attachment for my phone, right? So I couldn't do wides and stuff like that. Like, there's the same focal length the whole movie. Uh, because I didn't want to use like the native lensing on the phone, because I wanted to be able to make sure I had at least some depth of field for certain scenes. Uh, and I just think the natural film lenses can't really achieve that. But I just have to accept that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's hard for me to get past that. I'm one of those people who are like, I need to get this, I need to get this, I need to get this.
Mhm.
But sometimes it's like, man, fuck it. Like, don't worry about that stuff. Just if you got your phone, use your phone. Because ultimately, with the movie, you're just telling a story, and you just try to get that story
That's
across.
it. That's
So
it.
you might not be able to achieve the look and the vision exactly how you want it, but that stuff will come in time as you work towards it. So that's what I had to really like focus on, because Christy would tell you when
Yes.
given our time frame and our budget, I was like, man, like I
He
was like, I
thought it
wish I had a
wasn't gonna happen.
camera, like you know what I'm saying, like I wish I had
I'll
lights, like
like, "No, we
I was
gonna do
tight,
this.
you
We
know what I'm
gonna do
saying?
it." Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, my
uh,
advice would be to, if you're writing it, right, like, write based on what you know you can do. Because obviously we both have, like, these crazy ideas of stuff that
oh
we
right,
could
yeah,
wanna film, right? Um, but, okay, I'm like, "Okay, well, obviously, we can't get another location, so what can I film inside this house? What story can I film with just these
yep,
few rooms? What story can I tell with just me and AJ being in here because we can't get no actors?"
yep, exactly,
Obviously, it has to be something that has to do with a couple. Okay, so what can a couple do on Halloween? So, like whatever your parameters are, what limitations you have, whatever budget you have, write your story based on those things. So that way you don't get it, because I get attached to stuff and I'm like, I want this to happen. Like
right,
this.
yeah, hmm
So I don't even go there. I just automatically, okay, I'm in my house. I was just me, my boo. So what can I do? And I just work off of that. Um, and then
So
kind of
I
like
wanted
what,
to I wanted to
okay,
add something to that real quick before you transition to your next thought, because we've been to a couple different like you know cons and stuff like that where we've
mm,
sat in on panels that talk about writing
yeah.
scripts and screenplays. One tip that we learned in one of those was the concept of like saving stuff for the future. So if you do, like, let's say you do get hit with a really, dope idea, you can write it, you know what I'm saying? And then you just put it in your back pocket. And it's like,
Mhm.
and just know that this, this isn't for right now. This is
Yeah.
for the future. You know what I'm saying?
True.
And that's kind of what we had to do even for making this short. Like we had some ideas for other things was like, all right, hey,
Mhm.
pocket that, Like, ain't no way we can pull some of that stuff off right now. But we're gonna keep those ideas. We're gonna pocket it because eventually we can work our way towards. We can
That's
work our
right.
way up to something like that, and then be able to achieve it. But for right now, we just gotta keep stuff simple and create simple stories. So I just want to add that
Oh, yeah, yeah. No,
on
that's a
your
good
idea.
point. That's a really good point. Um, but I was just gonna piggyback off of what you're saying about, like, kinda, like, waiting till you have everything perfect to do stuff.
Yep.
Like, again, me and AJ, we are yin and yang, basically, yin and yang, however you say it. So, like, I feel like I have to be his cheerleader and push him, but a lot of people don't have that. So you got to be
True.
your own cheerleader and your own person to be like, if I want to do this, I can't keep waiting for things to be perfect and just go for it, type of thing. And I'll be honest, when I went to Fantastic Fest, and I was, telling he wasn't with me, but I still told AJ everything that I witnessed there. And I was like, we can't keep waiting. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Because we got to start now if we really want to do this. I was really inspired by just people's stories
Yeah.
when they went to go present their films. And I'm like, there's no reason that we got to keep waiting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not going to be on that level, but one day we'll get there, but we got to
Right.
start somewhere, type of thing.
Exactly. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to get there if you don't ever start. You know what I'm saying? Like, and also you're probably better than you think you are. You know what I'm saying? That's something that Chrissy and I both have dealt with.
True.
Chrissy's the writer, right? So, she's written things in the past, you know what I'm saying? Whether it be stories or whatever, and she'd be like, oh, this shit sucks. I suck at this. And I'm like, no, you're actually really good at this shit. She's done the same thing for me because I told y'all, like, I used to be into photography, so I would take pictures. I'd be like, man, this shit sucks. Like, this shit is ugly as fuck. She'd be like, what are you talking about? Shit is nice. You know what I'm saying? Because
And I
I
don't be
think,
lying either. Serious. I'm
yeah,
serious.
I think people naturally put themselves down. Now, I know not everybody's like that, but I know that
Yeah.
that's something that we do, is
Yeah.
we will put ourselves down and be like,
Narcissism
man,
is real.
yeah, it'd be like, no one would ever like this. Like, why would someone like this? This shit sucks. Like, it doesn't compare to this, and this. Like, it's so ugly, or it doesn't. This is messed up, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And like, you gotta you gotta be, you know, like you said, be your own cheerleader, but be more gentle yourself. Give yourself room
True.
to not
Yeah.
be perfect. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Even with this short film, I knew things weren't gonna be perfect. I knew I wasn't gonna be able to do things exactly how I wanted. And I was like, that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's perfectly fine because at the end of the day, you gotta have fun doing it too.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I would say is, like, we had fun making the short, even
Mhm.
through the hiccups, the frustrations, or the time limits. Like, we still have fun doing it, and we're proud of it. So, like,
Mhm.
that lets me know, like, oh, we were doing it right, no matter like
Yeah.
how exactly it came out. Like, we have fun making it. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, making the short film kind of gave me some perspective too, because I was thinking, like, when you watch, like, in like a Hollywood film, you're like, man, this movie is rough. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, so I was thinking about it. It's like, you know what though? They probably had a great time making that shit. It might suck, but they probably had a lot of
Yeah.
fun making it.
Yeah.
So it did give me some perspective on that too. Um, and but yeah, man, like you said, be your own cheerleader. You're better than you think you are. Just go do it. You can't do it how you want it to exactly. Just get that shit done.
Yep, that's it.
Now, lastly, we got to talk about what's next for us. So we've done this one short horror film. Babe, what's next for us?
Well, the goal obviously is to keep going. We don't want to stop here. So we can continue to be better and hone our crafts as writers and directors and editors. Shout out to me, baby. Um,
Yeah,
but so our next step, I think, naturally, is to make another short film, a longer one, a
yeah,
better one, as far as kind of like story, um, you know, the filming aspect. I don't know if we want to be in this or not. We'll have to figure that part out. But the goal both is to make another short film, a little bit longer, a more of a bigger production, I guess, in a way. And in order to do that, we would probably do some kind of crowdfunding and kind of
hmm
just like using what we already done as like our, resume in a sense. Like, okay, help us make something better than this.
right. Yep, exactly. So yeah, that'll probably be the next step. 'Cause I think that's one thing you and I both thought was, like, it's hard to do all the stuff behind the camera, but also be in the front of the camera. Like,
It's so
super
hard.
difficult. You know what I'm saying? So I think about all those people that do, like, act and direct in the same
Yeah,
movie. I'm like,
how do
damn,
y'all
like
do
how are y'all
this?
doing that shit? uh, but obviously those people have full Hollywood teams, so
Of
you know what I'm
course,
saying.
yeah.
Like, out naturally, I can see how they could do it, but yeah. So hopefully with the next project we can expand the scope. Bringing the crowdfunding so that we can get a little bit extra support, whether it be from actors or just extra hands on set, and have locations, and make it super legit. So you know, be on the lookout for that in the future for some sort of crowdfunding campaign, because we definitely won't be able to do it on our own. But we know the community is very supportive across the board, because we definitely be supporting people out there trying to get after it and do things, and that's what it's all about. That's everybody's got to get out there and just get after it and just make it happen. And we've already been seeing a lot of people have been doing it. I think a lot of people after Fantastic Fest felt the same way that you did, Bay. It's like, yo, we got to go out there and just do this shit. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
that's true.
Stop talking and doing it. You know what I'm saying? That's the big thing. It's like, you just got to stop talking about it, stop worrying about it, and just do it.
Yeah,
Because now that we've done this one, I feel a little bit more confident about the next time we do another one. I'm like, okay, like, we did that. So now I'm like, we could do it again. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And now
Mhm.
we could do it better. You know what I'm saying? And that goes
Right.
for anything. I don't care if it's YouTube, podcasting, sewing, you know what I'm saying, making music, and whatever you do that's creative that you want to do. You just got to get after it and just do it. And, don't sweat the small stuff, and that everything will come in time. And that's like the biggest lesson I learned from this. Everything will come in time. But be on the lookout for that crowdfunding campaign we do next. But I mean, that's pretty much
That's
like
it.
everything we want to talk about for our short horror film, the second Halloween. Bay, is there anything else you wanted to add as we close out this kind of behind the scenes, lessons learned type video?
Oh, that's really it. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. Obviously, if you have seen it, still share and comment, just so you can share the love and let other people see it too. So, um, we appreciate everyone who's already shown love,
Yeah, a lot
commented
of love
and
on that.
shared. We
Thank
really,
y'all.
really appreciate that.
Thank
I
y'all.
will say it's like a very anxious feeling to like create something and then put it out into the world and see how people receive it. But it's
Well,
been
anxious for
really
you,
amazing.
because
Yeah.
it doesn't matter to me,
Well,
'cause
it
I
matters
expect
to
it.
me.
Yeah, well, because like,
I
what I
want
mean by
people to
what I
like it.
well, what I mean by that is like, because we review movies, right? Because everybody's
I
got the
know.
right to say some shit sucks. So
Yeah.
for me personally, I fully expect somebody to watch the second Halloween and be like, this shit sucks. I'm like, you know what? Hey, you got every right to say that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you're probably justified in your thought of thinking that, and
Yeah.
that's perfectly fine. So like, I think for me, like, I don't ever really have uh, everything for me is internal. It's my own judgment on
Yeah.
what I'm making.
You don't
It's
really
not
okay.
even about what other people think about it. It's about my own, like, I'm thinking, like, oh, I don't like this. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I don't care what nobody else think about my own shit. It's more like, this is how I feel about it. Because I
Yeah.
already know people, have their own thoughts about things. People love
Yeah.
stuff, people hate stuff, whatever the case may be. But yeah, I know you, babe, Christy was super anxious about releasing this, and
Yeah.
what how people would think about it. But we did get a lot of love and support
We did.
from people just saying, kind of what I was saying earlier, like, hey, you just went out and did the thing. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's
Yep.
ultimately all about for the community.
Exactly.
People getting out there
Exactly.
and just doing it.
Exactly. Well, I'm ready for what's next, and I'm excited about, the next projects as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be. I'm sure it's gonna be some fire, just like the second Halloween. So y'all make sure y'all tuned in and following us on all of our different channels, whether it be YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, the podcast channels, TikTok, everything. Follow us on everything, because we'll definitely be pushing out as we're working towards our next projects. What we'll be doing next. But in the meantime, you can check out all the things we do content wise, whether it be our reviews, our scream if you've seen this podcast episodes on our podcast channels, and then the news coverage we do, everything. Make sure you're following us, because we just chop it up and talk about all different horror movies, news, and reviews. That's what we do. Y'all in love with horror. Thanks so much for tuning into this video. It's a longer one, but we just wanted to share our experience because we watched stuff like this when we were working and doing things, and I think it's cool to see like really small creators and their thoughts on how they work through stuff. So
Mhm.
hopefully this helped somebody and gave them inspiration and encouragement to go out there and make happen whatever they want to make happen. But thank you to our supporters. Thank you for tuning into this video. We will see you on the next one because we out. Peace.